Welcome to Ear Biscuits, the podcast where two lifelong friends talk about life for a long time. I'm Link.
And I'm Rhett. This week at the Round Table of Dim Lighting, we're going to be answering your questions, including one about where we feel our feelings.
Okay.
We're going to get vulnerable. We're going to continue to break the mold for middle-aged men, sharing their feelings and where they're felt. Which is something that I have been forced to do some thinking about over the past few years.
Okay.
In a way that I would have at one point thought was not useful, helpful, and a little bit woo-woo.
Yep. We're also going to get an update on Jenna's dating life.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
We need that. We need that. Stop hitting the desk because, you know, for audio-only listeners, it's like, what is that noise?
These are shock-absorbing.
Yeah, but it's like all of a sudden there's like a tick, 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 tick.
I was watching
tick.
a podcast the other day, and there was a woman making a point, and she was hitting the thing, and it was really... And I thought, well, you know, there are times when that makes sense.
You can bang a table to make a point, but just doing some sort of like tickety-tick, tack, tick, tick.
I'm going to
advise against that.
Well, that won't happen again. It was only going to happen then. And I had already stopped when you told me to stop.
Thank you. I am having trouble this morning.
Yeah, I can see it on your face.
It's not as bad as yesterday morning.
And we've got a lot going on right now, so you got to do something. You need a shot?
I had a hard time getting out of bed this morning.
You need a vitamin B shot?
Let's see. Yesterday, I got out of bed just fine. I think, yeah. And then I was grabbing like some dog leashes or something. And then all of a sudden I bent over. Oh, oops. Like in the middle of my back, it just like seized up on both sides. And I immediately thought of you. I'm like.
Both sides left and right or both sides front and back?
Both sides left and right of the spine.
Good.
Because I
didn't go all the way through.
I want your input on. I know this happens a lot with you, or it has over the years. I think what caused it was the day before, the 2 days before, I've started getting back into doing some sort of workout. Because I know that there's parts of my body. I was like, things are starting to hurt and fall apart, and it's just that I'm not. I'm not staying active enough.
Yeah.
You know, I had the wrist injury sorting the mail, which has been many weeks, and I've been wearing a wrist brace for that.
You need to get maybe a harness that hangs from the ceiling.
Something like that.
Hold yourself up. If you're having trouble holding yourself up during mail sorting.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Get a swing.
Like my hand was bent back, and so the wrist...
Oh, really? You should go fists down.
That's what I've been doing ever since.
Yeah.
And like when I do I do stretches every morning, but I do them after I walk the dogs. All of this stuff you can pick apart and help me. I'm just giving you all the information. So my wrist was hurting, and then my knee started hurting. Like my kneecap started going into like a weird place, and then everything underneath it starts swelling.
Oh.
And so now I was wearing a wrist brace. I'm still wearing a knee brace.
I've noticed that. And I will say 90% of the time, it seems like you're pulling it up from your ankle onto your knee. And also it looks like it's just made out of light cloth.
No, it's tight.
I mean.
That's why I keep pulling it up from my knee.
Is it thick enough? Is it doing things for you when it's on?
Yeah. It's just when I sit down and bend my knee, it hurts after a while, so I have to lower it to my ankle. And then when I start walking, I pull it back up like a teacher pulling up her stockings before she goes to the second floor.
What kind of porn you been watching?
I was like, your mind is still in sorting mail. What was that?
Sorry. No, it was in education.
Okay.
The education section of Pornhub.
No, just teachers wearing stockings.
Teacher section.
Teacher stockings. Anyway.
Get it while you can before it's illegal.
And then I'm still walking the dogs. I'm like, I know I need I can't use this as an excuse to be less active. The reason is that I need to be more active. So I'm not going to decrease. So I'm still walking the dogs. Jasper insists on it anyway. And then I noticed that my right toe is now hurting. So my right toe, my right knee, my right wrist.
This is common.
The whole right side.
A one-sided injury cascade is common.
Yeah, once something happens, other things start to happen. And then the back is the last thing. And then that was yesterday. This morning, I couldn't.
Oh, that's worse.
I had to get up in the middle of the night to pee. And
in your right testicle.
I just forgot that my back was hurt. So I just like got up really quick and all of a sudden I almost like crumpled to the floor.
Yeah. Welcome to the club, brother.
And then, so I'm just trying to get there to pee. What? And then I get back and like, I don't know how to get back in the bed in a way to like, when I'm laying down flat, it's fine. But like trying to get there, I was like, oh my God. And then, so I'm like crawling basically to the bed, trying to like do some sort of roll thing to get back in. And then
I'm familiar with the roll.
It was hurting. It was hard to fall back.
What level on your back? What vertebrae are we talking about?
Right here. So like
lower mid.
So like mid. Just above the belly button, if the belly button went all the way through.
And it's going on both, and it radiates on both sides.
Well, and like I can feel that it's the muscle because I'm like when I like smush it with my hands, it feels good. So this morning, after falling back to sleep, it was hard to get up. I rolled out of bed, put my knee brace on first, and then I had this like back brace, but it doesn't help that much.
The back braces, in my experience, overrated and unneeded.
Yeah, it just makes me sweaty. So I'm not.
It makes me like.
It
makes me like. I just try to keep them. I did that for a few years where I would put a back brace on when it started getting bad, but now I keep it moving.
Because you're supposed to stretch it. Like that's what I think you would have told me. So instead of calling you, I just got down on all fours and started doing some painful cat and cow.
Well,
but I went easy.
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, but you've cured yourself.
No, I mean, I have, at different points, I have a spot in my neck, I have a spot in between my shoulders, I have the exact spot that you're talking about, and it feels and it radiates on both sides, and then I have the lower back, which has like 3 or 4 different ways it manifests, and then I have a new one that happened when we were shooting, not when we were shooting Wonderhole yesterday, when we were shooting Wonderhole
a month ago.
Previous, where I thought I had a kidney stone. That one. That was a new one. I never experienced that one. That was like lower and further away.
And how did you get rid of that one? You can't, because you can't pass a pulled muscle.
Honestly, there's no getting rid of it, right? Like it will go away. The thing that I have found is that when I was 35, if it happened, it would last for weeks. But by the time I was 45, I had done so much preventative. And by the way, I do all the stretching and the movement before any dog walking.
Yeah.
It's the first thing.
Right when you wake up.
Well, the second thing, right after the ice bath.
Oh.
Yeah. But
I'm not doing ice bath. If you haven't seen the latest ice bath, that's my relationship with ice bath on GMM. That's my relationship with ice bath. I don't do them.
But the main thing is that now I'm not stricken with fear when it happens because I'm like, oh,
right.
This is going to be a couple of unpleasant days. Not this is going to be a couple of unpleasant months, which is what it was. Like we were talking yesterday when we were shooting Wonderhole, and you were kind of shooting through the pain. I was like, yeah, every scene in season 2 of Buddy System, I was at a 7 out of 10 probably. Whew.
That's tough, man.
It was just like constant. But and to the point that I got the guy to show up to do the shot. And I can't remember who told me this, but we were big fans of Simon and Simon. But one of the better opening theme songs to a television show.
We watched it as reruns. It's a sitcom from the early 80s probably. Okay. But we watched it as reruns.
It was inspiration in many ways for Seabird and Roach.
Right. Which was a big hit for us.
And but Gerald McCraney,
Yeah, Major Dad.
who played Simon. One of the Simons, he had a really bad back problems, and apparently he would regularly get those cortisone shots to be able to make it through. So I thought I was going to get one of those, and I literally had a doctor show up to set, come in the trailer, and then I lost heart because maybe I Googled something right before, and it was like, there's some risk to this, and also a lot of times it doesn't work unless they hit exactly the right spot. If they don't know exactly, and it was just a guy showing up on a set to give an injection into my spine in a trailer, and I was like, I think I'm going to be okay. I think I can do this. So I've never gotten that, but you know, you'll be like new in
okay right now.
36 to 48 hours.
I mean, I took some ibuprofen, and I'm still moving around. The knee is the one that
But the key is the movement. You might need to get the knee looked at.
No, I know what it is. It happens.
It
happens when I go into periods of low activity. I just got to do better. I got to do better for myself in terms of movement, calisthenics.
Movement is life.
Yeah.
As Brad Pitt said in World War Z, when they decided to not stay in the apartment.
That stuck with you, huh?
Yeah, I was like, interesting. Because they were like, we're going to stay here. And he was like, movement is life. I was like,
I'm going to remember that.
I'm going to journal that. That may not even be what he said, but it's what I remember.
On a positive note, you mentioned the Wonderhole Shoots. Yeah, we did some filming all day into the night yesterday, and very excited. Just want to let you know we're working hard on season 2 of Wonderhole for you, so that come early fall, you'll be in for some surprises.
Yeah.
And another round of evolving Rhett and Link expressing ourselves. Feeling good about it. Learning a lot. You know, as much as I'm not physically active, like mentally, I feel very challenged. You know, that's one of the things that I really am trying to focus on and enjoy as this part of the process is.
So you would call yourself mentally challenged?
Yeah. Yeah, Wonderhole is me. Mentally challenged.
You said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, you know, we planned things and we're trying to take risks and evolve our process. And as we're doing it, we're evaluating, is it what we expected? Is it achieving what we want? Some of that we just can't know yet.
Until you see the edit sometimes.
But in terms of creating an experience for us that will then come across on screen, that's a value, right? And when you're experimenting a lot, you can get in your own head and it can get in the way. So I'm trying to find this balance. I don't know how you're experiencing it, but
I see it as a step along. I have let go. I think the way I've matured is I've let go of insisting that everything be perfect or be exactly a perfect fulfillment of the vision, because nothing we've ever done has been. It's always been like, oh, we just got better in these following ways, but now so I just kind of see it as a process, and I know it's going to be very enjoyable for us to watch, and so that's my standard for how I know it's going to be enjoyable for certain mythical beasts to watch. But I'm like, I'm sure when we watch it, we're gonna see new things, and then be like, oh, and now we take that and apply it to the next thing. But that's an exciting process.
Yeah.
It's exciting to be middle-aged men with cascading injuries on one side of our bodies.
Right.
But feel like you're still learning and growing. You know? And to feel like confidently that it may not be that to confidently feel like your best work is ahead of you. Like that's how I feel that way.
I do think that that's different than we are trying to create our magnum opus or something. Like creating the best thing we created is different than that. They're two different things. It's a step on a continuum that maybe in some ways it'll last until we die. Hopefully not of carbon monoxide poisoning. There's worse ways to go though. I don't know, I'm just thinking about the Gene Hackman of it all. That he just, they're surmising that that's how he died. He and his wife and his dog. Yeah. Check your carbon monoxide detector, which,
yikes.
That's not something we have to worry about because Christy is all over that. She carries one in her pocket, I think.
So her purse is
definitely
not going to
when we
get,
travel. She definitely has.
She never sticks her head in her purse.
What?
To calm down. Well, you said pocket, but I was thinking purse.
Okay, pocketbook.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a reminder, go to mythical.com. There's huge savings going on over there. If you spend $100 or more, you get 20% off your order. Let's move the decimal and then times 2. 20%. Think about that. So jump on that, mythical.com. Mythical.com. Are you tired of figuring out what's for dinner night after night, especially on those busy weekdays? Well, get dinner done the easy way thanks to HelloFresh. HelloFresh's new ready-made meals go from your fridge to your fork in just 3 minutes. It's the same high-quality ingredients and restaurant-worthy flavor you expect from HelloFresh, just with none of the work. And their lineup of prep and bake meals come together with minimal mess and only 5 minutes of prep. So your oven does most of the work, not you. Thinking of new meals every night takes a toll on whoever is cooking, so it's nice to get a break and have a meal idea sent right to you, especially one that tastes good and you can make super quickly, like these 20-minute meals. There's a pork sausage rigatoni with zucchini that I really can't wait to try. It also means trying new things you might not have thought to even make. And the less time my wife and I spend at the grocery store, the better, honestly. Get up to 10 free meals and a free high protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/HelloFreshPodcast.
1 item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan.
That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/HelloFreshPodcast.
You want to take some questions?
Yeah, Mai.
Hey, fellas. This is Tiberi from Fort Collins, Colorado. I need your advice. Okay, so my precious little 95-year-old grandmother gifted me a treadmill from, I want to say, 1993. She gifted this to me, I don't know, 12 years ago. In the last couple years, every couple months, she calls me and says, hey, why don't we give that to so-and-so, the aunt, the uncle, the cousin, whatever it may be. The problem is this treadmill's broken, and I found this out the hard way. I was running on it one time, and it came to a complete stop randomly, and I fell quite hard. I have a scar from this. And then it started up again, and I rolled like a rotisserie chicken on it. So she wanted it back for herself. I said, absolutely not. Then a few months go by, she wants to give it to my aunt, like I said, random people. I said, nobody wants a broken treadmill from 1993, but she is fixated, obsessed, adamant on me giving this gift that she gave me to someone else. And I don't know what to tell her. Please help me come up with ideas. I love you.
Love you too. I feel for you, because like, Dad and I talk about Nana all the time.
She's like 95 at this point.
Yeah, and she's moved in with TC, Dad's sister, my aunt, permanently. And now the latest thing that they're doing is, actually Nana and TC are moving into another house on like the farm property. There's like a shuffle of houses going on amongst my cousins. They have this like big farm property and they like all live out there. So And at the same time, and Nana knows this, they're getting the house in Lillington ready to sell it. Which is sad because, it's like.
She spent how many years there?
Well, I think Dad was a senior in high school or so when they moved into it.
So 50 years.
Yeah. I have so many fond memories there of going to Nana and Papa's house. And so do we. When we worked in Lillington, when we had the basement studio in Lillington, Nana would make us lunch and we'd drive over there at least once a week. If she had her way, it would be more than that. And she always lets her way be known. So this is how I relate to you. Like, so we're starting to talk about, or they're starting to talk about selling her house, getting it ready. And also Nana and TC are moving to a different house. And so TC said, well, I'm gonna set up this bedroom is gonna be for you. And you've got this extra little room to the side that I'm gonna set it up where you can have your own little microwave and have your own little thing so you can feel like you have your own space. And she said, well, go to my house and bring my microwave from the house to the new place. This is what she's thinking. And we're like,
because the microwave is inadequate, the other one, the new one?
Well, there's no new one yet. She's just saying, I'm gonna buy you a new microwave. She said, don't buy me a new one.
Oh, okay.
Take the microwave out of my house and bring it over there. Well, this microwave at her house is installed in the cabinetry above the oven.
Okay, yeah.
But explaining that to her, it's like, Nana, it doesn't work as like a tabletop. It's built in. It's like, it'll still work. You don't need to buy, she's frugal.
Right.
And she's got this mindset. She's lived through a lot. So you can't blame her for it, but you can't convince her otherwise either. But it can't happen. You just don't, what are you gonna do? It's like pluck out this big old microwave and just like, it's supposed to be in a cabinet and just put it down there? But she won't take no for an answer. I mean, part of it, but then the thing they're saying is, well, we can't sell the house without the microwave. That would just be weird. The microwave needs to stay.
Microwave not included.
Yeah, it's like, it's a fixture.
I don't know, that might scare off some
countertop. So I really relate to this. I don't know how that's going to be solved, and thank God it's not my problem to solve. I think when I'm having these kind of conversations with my mom is a totally different person than my Nana. Like they're extreme opposites.
She's going to want the new microwave.
Well, when it comes to opinions, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh, your mom doesn't have many.
Yeah. But Nana, it's like everything demands, it evokes an opinion from her.
Right. She kind of feels like,
and I love her for
that's her role. It's like, well, I got to have an opinion about this.
Apparently, but she can't help herself. It's a lifestyle.
Well, I think in this situation,
so the treadmill.
Is it Tivory? I think so.
Yeah.
I like that. If that's what it is. If it's anything different, I don't. No, I do like it. I think the hard reality here is that your grandmother is what you call a soft serial killer.
Oh. Yeah.
This is someone who is routinely sabotaging and attempting to kill other family members via
that
treadmill.
Scarred you, honey?
Yeah.
You had an accident on it?
Yeah.
Well, who else can we give it to?
Yeah. And also, sidebar, this reminds me, I know you remember this. My dad had a thing for getting like exercise equipment that he thought he or we needed.
Uh-huh.
But he was pretty cheap. And so he wasn't willing to get like a nice piece of exercise equipment. And I don't know if you remember that weight set thing that we had in what we called the extra room.
Yeah, where we played Nintendo.
Yeah, and it was like a bench and like maybe like a butter. It was like a very little universal machine.
Yeah.
But
it was tall.
The bench bar was like covered in some sort of like foam, but the way that it would work is you would push up on it and it would resist, but then when you let go, it would just stay where it was. It wasn't it wasn't pushing against you. You were pushing against it only. Like you would do a bench press and you're pushing really, really hard to get it to go up. But if you let go,
Yep.
that's it. It's not using gravity.
It's low stakes.
Is that called isometrics? I don't know, but it was
using pistons, I think.
Yeah. And then
So it was like trying to stretch out a piston and it would just stop. Did he ever use it? He bought it for you and Cole, right?
I think so. I think he bought it for me and
To like
Cole,
help with
because
your
when
athleticism.
we were in like high school and we were interested in working out and we were both in sports and stuff.
Did you use it?
I mean, I pushed against that thing a couple of times, but I was like, it's so difficult to motivate yourself to lift weights when you're just pushing the weight and you can just stop at any point. It's so easy to take a break.
Well, also if there's a couch and a Nintendo right beside it.
But it had to be from Brindle's. You remember Brindle's?
He bought everything from Brindle's.
It had to be the cheapest possible
Brindle's
thing
was
that
like
you could get.
Sears, like back alley Sears.
And I also seen this. This may be a memory that I'm concocting, but I also have a memory of a treadmill that worked in a similar way, where you had to make it go by walking.
I remember that. Yeah, in the same room, right?
Yes, like a treadmill you didn't plug in.
Yeah.
But not one of the nice ones that would, like, you go to a gym and they've got those ones that are kind of bowl shaped.
Really?
Yeah, and you can get on them and they go about as fast as you go, and it's for like sprints and stuff. No, this looked like a regular treadmill, but it was flat and you had to like you had to
grunt.
go again, like I don't know, maybe, you know what, maybe my dad was onto some sort of philosophy. He was like, you motivate yourself. You know, like, we don't plug this treadmill in.
Yep.
You power the treadmill.
Yep.
This thing is not going to push against you. You have to push against it. Maybe I've become who I am because of the cheap shit that my dad bought, because he knew something that I didn't know.
Would he eventually throw it away or regift it? Because it would disappear eventually.
I don't know where it went. You know, there's like
I
that
think
time
maybe-
in your life when you don't know what your parents do with things.
Yeah, I think it might have gone on your back deck.
No, it never went. No, he wouldn't have done that.
There was a shed under the deck.
No, they wouldn't just throw it somewhere.
Oh, yeah?
Not something that big. It was probably given to someone, some poor soul who's still pushing against that thing to this day.
Back to Nana, she's a kindred spirit to your dad in this way. She would buy all this cockamamie exercise equipment.
Yeah.
Like, she had this thing that it had two plastic pedals, and it was like and it had a strap on it. You put your feet in it, and it was shaped like a capital D, and the back of the D went flat on the ground, and then you like put your feet over like the round part of the D, and then you put a strap over your feet, and there was a handle, and it was connected in between your feet by a long spring.
I have no idea what you're talking
And
about.
then you would pull it. This is like pre-Suzanne Summers, where the knees would come apart.
The Thigh Master.
The Thigh Master.
I memorized every one of those commercials.
That was a cool commercial.
Yeah, it was.
Really cool to watch because of the ingenuity.
Suzanne Summers got me through many summers.
So it was like you would stand up and you would just yank up on this spring, but then it would pull you back down because it was a spring.
Yeah.
And if you got caught in there, if any part of your blouse or your pants or your skin got caught in that thing, it'd pinch the hell out of it.
Right, yeah.
Because she had all of these things, like, and I would just go and play with them like they were toys, but they were very dangerous.
She gave you no instructions.
I'm sure I have scars, as you do. You got to find a way to lie to your grandma.
I think you can lie. I mean, I think you can lie to somebody in their mid-90s.
When they're in their 90s, you have to start
Right.
lying to them.
Can't you?
You got to keep them happy.
It's about their well-being at this point. You
You know?
protect your well-being while protecting theirs. And the easiest way to do that with a 95-year-old is just tell them we gave it to somebody. How's she gonna check?
Yeah, you treat them like a mushroom. You feed them bullshit and keep them in the blind. You know? Happy little mushroom in the dank area.
Right.
Give her on microwave.
And I'm not saying
This is it, Nana.
You're not trying
This
to,
is the
you're
microwave.
not dehumanizing them, just so you understand. You're actually caring about their well-being by doing this.
And everybody, I mean, who are you going to re-gift it to? I mean, because it
And
sounds
also,
like,
if they want to smoke, let them smoke.
oh God. Oh, don't.
I mean,
get
if they're
me
not, I think I don't know. At 95, if they really want a cigarette,
cigarette. There's not as many of those. In my family. I mean, like
Jesse's grandmother.
All my family members that smoked and kept smoking, that's what they died from, and they did smoke until the end, and it was ugly. So I can't vouch for that.
No. So
cannot vouch for that one.
Okay, if they've been smoking, I'm saying if they haven't been smoking.
Oh, if they haven't been smoking, start smoking.
Jesse's grandmother was super healthy, lived into her 90s. She had snuck some cigarettes from time to time during her day, but in her 90s, she stopped sneaking.
Yeah. Okay.
We just made her go outside. She
started smoking like a smokestack.
You didn't know that about Gaga?
That's not what killed her.
No. It wasn't anything lung related.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, let them do what they want to.
Yeah.
They want a Dr. Pepper, give it to them.
I mean, Christy always talks about her. I think it was her grandma Nina or great grandma lived over 100. From her 100th birthday for like the next 3 years until she died, the local news would come and do a story on her every time she had a birthday. Mm-hmm. She turned 100, she turned 101, and every time they would be like, what's the key to it? She's like, I eat bacon every day.
That's the key. That's the key.
I never met her, but she ate bacon every day.
Right, yeah.
So
some people can take it.
So just so what's the lie? The lie is,
who do you want me to give it to? Okay. Yes, I gave it to Aunt so-and-so. You call Aunt so-and-so and you say, hey, listen, whenever you talk to Grandma, just know I gave you this treadmill. Mm-hmm. Tell her it's great.
Yeah.
Now, if she's going to come over to your house, maybe I actually do need to give it to you.
Just don't use it.
You don't, please don't use it.
I'm going to give this to you, don't use it.
Yeah, if you have a place for it, I got a treadmill coming your way.
It's under the deck in the back.
At this point, if your aunt that she wants to gift the treadmill to wants a treadmill, be like, go ahead and buy yourself that treadmill. She probably won't know the difference. And then if she starts saying, this doesn't look like my treadmill, say, yeah, we got some upgrades.
Yeah.
I had a guy come out and service it and paint it and change the shape of it.
And make it safe.
Yeah.
Make it
But
safe.
we love it. We love it. The bones that you gave to this thing really, really are what this thing's based on.
I mean, if you're in your 90s, you've lived through things that dictate that, like, you just can't throw something away.
Right.
You just can't do it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I grew up in an age that now, like, there are a few things that make me feel as happy as throwing things away. Like getting rid of stuff. Yes, I'm a little troubled about where it's going, but I try not to think about that. And it doesn't override the joy I have. When I take, one of my happiest times of the week is when I'm taking my trash can out there, and then I know that they're going to come and pick it up. It just...
You're a simple man.
Because, no, I'm not. This is important to me. Because the times when you forget to take your trash out there and that puppy's full.
Hold on, you don't make your kids do this?
You got a whole, no.
This is the only thing I make
It matters because it makes me feel good to do it.
Okay, all right.
This is my joy time, taking the trash out. Because when you don't, it's too important of a thing to entrust to a child, taking the trash out. Because if you forget, you got a week of misery.
Yeah, that's happened to us.
Because where does all the trash go? You're starting to put recycling in the trash, or you're putting trash in the recycling. You're redistributing stuff. You're starting to use other people's trash cans. You're sneaking around.
Well, if it brings you that much joy, you want to come over and do mine?
Be dirty.
Because I got quite a driveway.
Yeah,
I mean that thing. You can almost kill yourself, especially if you get bold and do trash and recycling, and they're full, and you're going down. I've done that. And I get in front of it.
Don't get in front of it.
I get in front. And there's a couple of times when I start thinking, this might be the time that I get killed by my own trash.
Yeah.
I mean, my driveway is so steep.
I know, man.
And then you got to come back, and then you got to bring them both back up empty.
Don't go down first.
But there's been a couple of times where Shepard has forgotten. And then we remember the trash day. and we think we still got time, and we rush down there, and then if the trash man is a little bit early or whatever, and we miss it, now you got to drag that full, like 3/4 full trash can back up that hill.
And just leave it there, leave it down there all week.
Like, well, because we still got trash coming.
I know, but you can walk the trash down.
I'm just saying, feel free to come over and do it.
I love it when I remember it. I love it, I love it, I love it. It's not a better feeling. Because then when I hear that trash, and I'm like, with the trash man coming, I hear him rumbling by, I'm like, yep, I'm 2 steps ahead of you, buddy. My can's already out there. I'm not having to do
Yeah, you and every other neighbor.
2-step sprint, trying to get my can down there. I'm racing the guy. He's already passed, he's gone past my house. Well, and then I'm like, but it's a cul-de-sac.
The beauty of being on a cul-de-sac. I know he's turning around. So now I'm sprinting to get my trash can across the street to the other side. And that's an under the wire victory. Well, the thing about being on a cul-de-sac is there should never, if you're present, if you're home, you should never miss it.
2 chances.
Yeah, wow. Maybe I should install a cul-de-sac on my street.
You should, dude. There's nothing better than a cul-de-sac.
Talk to the city about that. I think people might get upset if I just block a bunch of other houses. I'm doing this so I got 2 chances of the trash. I just do it with sandbags.
Makes me feel good. What were we talking about?
This serial killer grandmother that you're going to satiate by telling her that you gave it to someone else.
Let's get to Jenna's dating life.
Okay.
We need an update.
This is Matt from Indiana. Question for Jenna.
Southern Indiana.
I just saw the episode, the weekend episode with Jenna trying to get a date. Just wondering if she was willing to give an update on that. Whatever thing you do, bye.
Wow. He sounded like he could be a fireman.
Yeah.
Maybe. I feel like the love everything you do was directed at you all, not to me.
Okay, I take it as directed at you.
Okay.
Can we start with his characterization of the Good Mythical Weekend episode as Jenna trying to get a date? 'Cause that's not how I remember it, right?
I wasn't really trying.
I think there were 3 men vying.
4 men.
4 men
You already forgotten about
vying
one.
for your date. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all were trying to find me a date.
Yes.
Yep.
So
I connected well with one of them.
Before the update, walk us back through that experience. If you haven't seen it, you can go watch it. But
oh gosh,
because I never really asked, were you glad to do it?
It was really fun. I was glad that I did it. Yeah, I had a good time.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was
It was
fun.
a lot of fun for me.
It was cool to have something so immediate, being like, oh, you're seeing their profiles, and then boom, they're in person. And then the immediate changes from how people came across in their profiles versus how they were in real life.
No, that was the most shocking thing to me.
That was so shocking.
Someone who has never done any online dating, of course. I just thought that maybe you could, we saw multiple pictures of these guys from multiple angles.
Yeah.
You begin to put together a picture of what they're going to actually look like, what their voice might sound like. And then none of them were remotely close to the picture that I had.
Well,
it made me scared for you.
It
made me scared for everyone who,
That is
who
online
uses,
dating. Thank you.
It made
Yes.
me scared for anyone who online dates. It's like, we gotta update this thing. There has to be a 3D modeled version of the person that you can interact with before you go and have coffee.
I think
with
that's
them.
called video.
No, I want to be able to look at somebody's head and see it from the side. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to look at every part of that face and the body and everything.
Well, the thing that I really got a kick out of was how you characterized that one guy's eyes. What did you say?
That was my favorite. I did.
Based on the picture.
So bad. I said his eyes looked like he was like a baby that was just learning how to see shapes.
Yeah, and that's the one you went on the date with,
And that's
right?
what I chose.
yeah.
Because when he came out, his eyes had matured a little bit, I think.
He just really, it was just one of those where it's just like they were kind of glazed over and just like unsure of things.
Yeah.
And small.
Yeah, they
Smaller
were just
than-
really unsure of stuff.
But when he came out, I was like, well,
Totally different person.
I was like, that's the guy she's going to choose.
You knew, I know.
I just as soon as I saw all four of them, I was like, she's going to choose that guy. You did.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And I did.
so
What
how,
was his
how-
name?
Brennan.
Brennan.
So how?
So you had the first date there in front of
Right,
the
right.
world
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
that
we
wanted to
made-
watch.
We made s'mores. Yeah.
and then there was a second date.
We did go on a second date. He took me to dinner.
Because you decided right then
Well,
It-
yeah, I was like,
in the date on
Give it a
set,
chance.
I told him, I was like, hey, yeah, I said, yeah, I would like to see you again. And then after the episode, I was like, by the way, that is genuine. So we like exchanged numbers, and I was like, call me. I'm like putting it on his play. It's like, you call me.
Yep.
So yeah, he invited me out to dinner. We had a really nice dinner. Like a month or so later, we went on like a hike together. We went
a third date.
we went on a third date. Yeah, yeah. Still getting to know each other. Still nothing happening. Just getting to know each
Okay,
other.
so it's just sort of like, okay, it's not like things are like heating up. It's just
No,
that like,
yeah.
okay,
we're still figuring it out. It's like we get along. Let's keep getting to know each other. So,
What's a date hike like?
it's just it's a regular hike. You chat.
what was his water bottle like?
It
Not
was a-
Camelback, right?
It wasn't a Camelback. No,
Okay, good.
no. He actually didn't bring a water bottle,
Oh, even better.
but I was concerned. I was like, I brought a water bottle. I was like, I'm staying
No,
hydrated.
I like a man who is his own camel.
Did he try to drink out
We
of your
walked a
water
long.
bottle?
It was a long hike. We walked to the Hollywood sign hike.
Oh, that is a long hike.
It is a long hike.
You started at like Bronson Cave type?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's a
Started there
long hike.
and went up. We didn't do all
Christy
the way.
hated me halfway through that hike. But then we
It's
got to the
so
Hollywood sign and was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, this is bigger than I thought it would be.
We did the overlook, the one of the overlooks where you could look up at the Hollywood sign, not going all the way
Not
up
going
to
up
it,
to it.
where you have
Okay.
to like
Behind it.
take the road access up to it. We did
Yeah.
the little side one. That,
Oh,
So,
okay.
but it was still a long hike.
Did you see horses? This is just a side
There
note.
were horses.
That people, you
Uh-huh.
can ride a horse up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of horse poop on the trail.
Which I've still
Lots.
been trying to
Uh-huh.
do. I think a date hike is a really good idea, right? Because
Yeah, it was fun.
you're not just sitting there facing each other.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure goes down, right? Because you're doing something together. You're kind of side by side.
Yeah.
You're not just staring at each other. You're having a shared experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's very conducive to conversation, but the eye contact is not going to be too heavy.
No. I
So
mean,
to me, it's
yeah.
like lower pressure.
I mean, I'd like have it was way low pressure. It was really fun because I mean, I wouldn't do that normally, but it just because hiking with someone a man you still don't know very well, sketchy. But it's a very
That's a very public.
it's a very public hike.
There's all kinds of people out
It was
there.
a weekend morning. There were lots of people there.
You also get to see people's sweat patterns when you hike with them.
Yep.
It's like, oh, he sweats right from the top of his head.
Yeah, and we did a background check on him anyway beforehand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
I also feel like you could take him.
yeah.
Oh really? Yeah.
So
You can take baby eyes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but
Take him to the
that is
cleaners.
a good thing to know. That we're not going to have any whatever that movie was with Anna Kendrick in it, where the serial killer goes
Pitch
on
Perfect.
the dating show.
woman of the hour.
Woman of the hour. We're not going to have a woman of the hour situation here at Mythical because anyone who is on any dating shows has a thorough background check. So if that's what you're thinking about doing, if that's your way in, you better have a clean background.
Yeah, we'll find out.
And plus, you're really checking the fitness level, sweat patterns, fitness level, ability to converse while
Mouth
panting.
breathing.
Uh-huh.
You get to see what it's like if they were a mouth breather. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Is
this
there
is what this person.
Is there a good form of mouth breathing?
Well, when you're sick. It was somebody,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? When you get sick and everyone becomes a mouth breather. You got to be around that quite a bit. So, like, go ahead and get used to it. See what it's like on the trail.
And you can get ahead a little bit and then hide and then see how they react to, like...
games. Little games.
Or just peril.
We didn't do that.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good.
You didn't simulate peril for the boy?
Yeah.
Simulate peril. No, we discussed that how anytime there's a pretty decent sized rock that boys must pick up rock and must throw rock off cliff.
Yep.
So-
right. That's a precarious thing to do in LA though.
That
you
you
can't be throwing rocks.
We
off.
did, it was discussions. It was just mostly.
He didn't do it?
No.
Okay.
no.
You can do that in North Carolina.
You cannot... That is a big no-no for hikers. You can't be throwing stuff
Yeah.
as a hiker.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's people... You have to assume there's people down there.
You can take a rock and throw it somewhere on the same trail.
Dump this guy. He's... that's sus.
He's not gonna be one of those guys who goes to like a national park and him and his buddies like take a big rock and film themselves rolling it down the hill and get later fined or imprisoned. He's not one of those
that was
guys.
bad. That was really that rock was a very.
How do you
large rock.
know?
I
Based
saw
on-
that. That was wild.
No, this
They
is
really
there's
destroyed
there's
a cliff
multiple online
No,
videos.
how do you know this guy would not do that?
Oh, I'm just
I don't think
saying
he
that it
would.
doesn't seem
He
like
wouldn't do
he's
it.
that kind of
Brennan
guy.
would.
Yeah.
He seems more
Brennan
responsible
would do
than
that.
that.
So there's still some percolation.
No,
Oh,
that was the last date.
It kind of fizzled at that point.
Yeah, that was the last date we
Oh,
went on,
it
and
fizzled
yeah,
at
it was. We do get along really well, but there just wasn't that like
Sparks.
spark. Yeah.
Yep.
But lovely guy. I would like. People should go reach out and go out with him. It was a great date.
What
We
did
had
we-
great
did we-
multiple.
did we
dates.
publish his profile or something?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, his
Reach
name,
out.
his name and
name.
his face.
Yeah, his name and his face.
He's in LA.
Jenna's encouraging the internet to reach out to him.
Yeah.
How's he gonna feel about that? I mean, we're sitting here talking behind his back publicly, but we've changed his name.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we
Great
have.
guy, didn't work out.
Yeah.
I'll just make this in general, not about that specific, but like what's the best way to fizzle out a date on good terms? Like knowing that you might run into him at the Ralph's or something, and I don't know. How do you approach a fizzle out when the spark isn't there?
I mean, it just fizzles. I don't
It's not
know.
a discussion.
So it wasn't at the end of the
Is that what
hike.
you're
There
saying?
was a
It wasn't at the
discussion where
end
you're
of the
like,
hike.
this is the last time. It
Right.
was just
Yeah.
like, there wasn't, you kind of probably both knew there wasn't going to be an additional time.
Yeah.
And there just hasn't been.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a soft fizzle.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you said, you know what, give me a second. I got to tie my shoe. Go on without me. And then you never caught up with him.
He's still there waiting for me.
Or you just start walking real fast, slowly leave him. There's many ways you can ditch something. That's the great thing about a hiking date.
Yeah.
There's lots of side trails, little paths. I want to try this one. You try that one.
Let's see who gets back first.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But you need to drive separately. I
We
guess
did
you
drive
did Uber.
separately.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the key. You can
You
have
did
two
drive
cars in the
separately.
parking lot.
We drove separately both times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even to the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another good date technique. You've got your own exit plan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That
Although
seems like a smart thing.
it is always really nice whenever someone does pick me up. That's yeah.
Because you hate parking?
No, you just don't see it often.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not
Most people
anymore.
meet.
Yeah, most
I
people
have heard
meet.
this. Most people meet at the dating
Interesting.
location.
See, I would not have known this.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Mhm.
I would just assume
This
you
is
would
a
go pick
product
person up.
of like online dating, I think, because
Yeah.
you don't necessarily want them to know where you live,
Right.
so you
Oh,
meet
yeah.
them there.
And also,
Yeah.
if it doesn't go well, you don't want to have the car ride after.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
Because that's when they corner you.
Yeah.
What?
Tell you exactly how they feel in the car. I don't know what it is about it being in a car with a man, but they always have those big feelings in cars, and you're like, I'd really like for us to have these discussions and chats, not while you're driving and I'm enclosed in this.
Note to men everywhere.
No, to it everywhere.
Interesting.
Save those big, important discussions for not when you're driving.
Is
Right.
that because they're like building up to like the invitation in?
No, I think it's because
At the drop-off?
it's another one of those feels like less pressure for them because they don't have to look you in the eye when they're saying all the things.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was because most boys had a race car bed at some point, and so they got used to feeling big feelings in a car.
I like that better. Yeah, that's good.
If
So yeah,
somebody,
still dating. Still
if
dating.
somebody leans in to kiss you and you don't want to kiss them, what do you do?
Lean back.
Lean back.
Lean back.
And
Yeah.
if that doesn't end it right
Lean
there.
back and turn to the side. Like if they still try and sneak in, they're just getting a cheek.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like a little chuckle, like, oh, haha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, just not ready for that.
Yeah, you
just
gotta-
lean back. Like, no, thank you.
See, I'm really delinquent in. I'm sure Lily didn't need to hear any advice from me on this. She's a big girl. She's a woman. But
Are you saying that because you didn't give her any advice?
yeah,
I'm sure she didn't need any.
I know nothing about dating. Like the way we dated was so weird. I mean, I ask her questions, but I don't give advice.
Right.
But that's good. I'm gonna ask her about that because I would do like the Three Stooges thing where it's like, you know, one guy's trying to poke you in both eyes with his
right.
fingers,
Right.
boink boink boink, and the other guy just, you know, they mastered the quick shark fin in between the eyes with the hand, the hand shark fin.
Right. Yeah. It's
You can't get in there.
yeah.
That's basically a version of what you do. If somebody's trying, you could give the guy the mouth shark fin.
Oh,
Just cover
that's
your
a good
mouth.
idea. That's a good idea.
That's actually hilarious.
I've done it before where I've leaned back and I put my hand up
Yeah.
in front of my.
Well, that's
in front of my
awkward.
mouth.
It feels like once that happens, that is the date is
Shit.
over.
No, yeah, not the date, the relationship.
The relationship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When it's kissed the hand,
Yeah.
that it's over, right?
It's over.
Wow. Damn. Somebody, you got them to kiss the hand. They get the cheek.
To be clear, this was not with Brennan. He was always
Yes.
respectful.
It's
He was
just
always
nothing that I've
respectful.
ever experienced. Like we were so deprived,
I mean, I think we were
You-
spared.
spared and deprived. Yeah.
We were spared, man.
Oh my goodness. All right, hit us with one more.
Hello, Rhett and Link. My name is Cheyenne. I'm from Massachusetts. I'm just calling because a few years ago I went and took a trip to Spain, and our tour guide asked us a really cool question. I've asked a few people in my life throughout the years, where do you feel your feelings? At first, I thought everybody feels it definitely in the throat/chest area. No, a lot of people, I've had some weird people say weird things. So I just want to hear what you guys think. Where do you feel your feelings? Love what you do. Love listening. Thanks so much. Bye.
Now, Rhett, good question. You alluded to this at the top of the episode that I can relate to. You started therapy before me and started talking about some of these type of questions of like, where in your body do you feel things? And I'll let you share that experience. But I will say that when I started therapy with a different therapist, I was asked the same question, and I'm still asked that question a lot, even very early on. And I knew that the question could be asked, but that didn't stop me from like being very perplexed in how to answer it. It was very difficult. It was just not something that I had ever introspected about, you know?
Oh, definitely I hadn't.
But having been asked the question a number of times, I feel like I've gotten almost decent at being able to answer the question. Still not great. It's still, after a couple of years of periodically being asked the question, there's still something in the back of my mind of like, am I making this up or am I drawing a false correlation? Do I just have a stomach ache or am I feeling it in my stomach? A lot of my anxiety, I have concluded I do feel like in the stomach. Sometimes I do feel something in the throat, and a lot of times there's like a jaw tightening thing. But I tend to explain it as, yes, I'm anxious and that makes me feel nauseous, or yes,
You're still trying to make it like a
just purely
a physical, yeah.
right? Or yes, I'm frustrated, so my jaw is tight.
And first of all, that seems like it's probably a useful thing to know.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time this was asked, my therapist asked me this question: "Where do you feel this feeling?" I was like, the thing I thought at the time was, well, I don't feel it, I think it.
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, that honestly, I was like, it's in my brain.
In my brain.
I was like, it's in my brain, man. Like, regardless of where you think it might be, it's in my brain. And that was actually my my issue. Is like intellectualizing everything, like rationalizing everything. Instead of feeling a feeling, I immediately go to solving the problem of what the feeling is or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a therapeutic tool. Now, obviously, there are some people who are like, no, you literally like, it's something to do with your chakras or something in the different points in your body or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I don't know that. I don't believe that. Maybe it's true, but I definitely think that now I'm able to recognize, usually it's one of two places for me.
Okay.
It's in the breadbasket, the stomach.
The gut.
Or it's like in the chest, like, or chest, throat area.
And how do you describe the gut feeling? Nausea?
No.
Uneasiness?
Well, it might, no, see, I don't go all the way to describing a symptom because I actually don't think I'm experiencing a symptom. Like, I wouldn't say, oh, I'm feeling nauseous. I would just be like, let me really feel that for a moment. You know, and I'll be like, okay, well, to me, I think it kind of comes down to, if it's an anxiety thing, it feels more in the gut. But if it's like a conviction thing, it feels more heart.
Huh.
Like, if it's just like, I feel like if there's something inside me that needs to get out and there is a restriction on that, if that's the arena, then it's like throat, chest. But if there's something external that is making me feel anxious, oppressed, or whatever, then it's like the gut. I would say roughly it kind of falls into those two categories.
I think for me, it's a lot of time butthole, but I never want to say that in therapy. When we're talking about the anal retentiveness.
Expand on that. I don't mean your butthole.
Of getting caught. I just don't like saying that I'm thinking about what my butthole feels like right now.
Is this your anal retentiveness?
Yeah, I think so.
Your anal retentiveness?
Yeah.
You're saying sometimes you feel a tightness?
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm anxious about this. I've got my butthole clenched right now.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to tell your therapist that.
I know. I could, but
I think he might need to know that.
Sometimes towards the end of our session, we'll like do some meditative breathing. We've done a few different types of that, and he'll ask, where in your body do you feel what you're feeling? Once you've located it, just nod your head. So it's not like I have to tell him anyway. It's just like, okay. And now I'm just kind of focusing on that. And when I've been really nervous and anxious about something and like feeling it in my gut, like to the point of like uneasy and nauseous, we'll do this VU breathing, which takes a little bit of getting over yourself, but it's like VU, and then going like as loud as you can, basically. You ever done that?
No.
VU.
And I never will. No,
and the more it's like it creates this vibration in the bread basket that is soothing.
Yeah. Well, humming in general literally has a physiological effect on the vagus nerve, which can be very calming. I think the interesting thing, obviously, this is one of those things that occasionally, I mean, I tend to not read what people say about us just because my life is better when I don't. But from time to time, if we've talked about something very specific and I actually am interested in the discussion, I'll tap in.
Yeah.
And people love to say, oh, they're so California, right? And obviously, like, this conversation is very, what you would call very California. And I think that what I would say to, and the me from 15 years ago before I moved to LA would see us having this conversation and be like, oh, what happened to us? Or like, what are we talking about? I think that being on the other side of it and having these conversations with my therapist, to me, what I'll say is that on like a scientific or metaphysical level, I don't know any, like, what I'm saying could be a total projection, right? It could be that, like, even though there are a bunch of neurons in your digestive system and like a lot, I think there's more neurons in your stomach than there are in a dog's brain. I don't know, something like that. It's something crazy. That's probably wrong, but it's something like that. But you're essentially the idea that your brain, it kind of, there's more to it than just what's in your head is a scientific concept. But even if it all is just thoughts, right? Even if everything is just thoughts, there is this, as someone who 20 years ago was totally just locked in my head, like 100% not embodied in any way, shape, or form, and thought that the idea of, if you had told me like what embodiment was, I would have been like, that's some crazy California bullshit, right? That's what I would have thought. Yep. But the act of thinking about, even if it is just thinking about it, as, well, it feels like it's coming from here, it feels like it's coming from here, or doing the breathing exercise that you're talking about, I can just tell you there is a positive effect of actually letting yourself unlock the insisting that it's just an intellectual or rational exercise and letting yourself feel something. Because I've never been particularly comfortable with my own emotions, just kind of given my personality and raising, but letting yourself kind of feel it and describe it in that way, and also be able to talk to another person about it in that way, is very transformative.
I agree, and I'm not required to believe anything in order to have the benefits of it.
Yeah. I'm just thinking.
I'm not
about
signing up
like,
for something.
Is that what therapy's going to be? Well, that might be what therapy would be for you, but I can just tell you it's pretty transformative when you can actually, because you get in touch with all these exercises of like, where am I feeling that? It has the, you're able to get out of your head, right? It's so difficult sometimes to separate yourself from your thoughts. Like if you're anxious about something, you begin to think that I'm anxious, like I am anxious. You begin to identify as anxiety. But when you're able to say, I feel anxiety in this place, you're able to see that I am not anxiety. That is not who I am. But I'm capable of feeling anxiety. And I think that, I don't know, it just has a very transformative effect on catching yourself. So like now, I tend to get a little anxious when I travel, right? And for years, it would have just been, I'm just in it. And I'm not thinking about it at all. I'm not observing myself. I'm not stopping to think about the process at all. And then what I'm doing is in the moment of being anxious about traveling, I'm snapping at Jessie because of something she did, or she's slowing us down, or she doesn't seem to be as concerned about getting to the airport as I am.
Yeah.
But now, when I'm able to break out of that and be like, I'm feeling anxiety and I'm feeling it here. I'm stopping. Now I'm observing. I actually have some control over that, right? And now I don't have to immediately snap at my wife when she does something that seems to exacerbate that. So anyway, just a little vote for the exercise of asking yourself where you're feeling things.
Our desire is for you to have a little less anxiety in your life. I hope that we have been an agent of that today. We require no beliefs from you. All we require is that you leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And we value your voicemails. If you want to talk to us and just pick our brains about something related to your experience, we're all for that. And we invite you to call us. 1-888-EARPOD1.
Hey, Rhett and Link. I drive a lot for work, so I was on the road here and saw a gas tanker, and it said Town Pump. And my intrusive thoughts immediately went to, oh, must have been Rhett's nickname in high school. I just wanted to thank you for all the brain rot over the years. Appreciate you. Love you guys. This is Alyssa from Fort Myers, Florida. Have a great day. Bye.